They turned on the lights, and the Russian pilot, in broken English, said, "We're almost there." And I looked through that little viewpoint, and I saw. I went right over the main hatch and went up the crow's nest, went up the mast, and up on the bridge. The telemotor's there. The ship's wheel was gone, and then I said, I want to see the captain's cabin, and they took me there. The side is already gone. And I was about 5 feet from the captain's bathtub for about 10 minutes while they were changing film. Then I said, let's go to work.
Archaeology is the study of man through man's material remains, and so we can learn a lot about ourselves based on what kinds of things man has done in the past, and oftentimes we don't have those records. All we have is what has been left behind.
Well, here's the problem. When we found the Titanic in 1985, we went back in 86, we made a mosaic of it. We then came back almost 20 years later and did it again. And we put them side by side. You can see where the submarines are landing. They're loving the Titanic to death. They're landing on it, crushing the deck, knocked off the crow's nest, leaving all sorts of garbage. What we're trying to do is to say, look, visit the Titanic, but you don't go to Gettysburg with a shovel. You don't take belt buckles off the Arizona, right? So visit, but don't touch.
That's how I got out of jury duty.
Yeah, right.
I find it offensive. My great-aunt's wedding dress is down there.
Rob Gordon lost 2 relatives on the Titanic. He feels the wreck should be left alone.
It's a grave. There's a lot of people down there, their personal possessions, and I just think it's wrong to sift through them and then put a price tag on that stuff.
I wouldn't buy it. It would be, you know, again, you have an issue of ethics and who owns the past. And, you know, I just think it's wrong. You know, I think the salver permits, whatever they were, and I'm not familiar with them, you know, should have, in my opinion, you know, should have been framed differently so that this sort of thing would not happen. You know, because it's legally right doesn't mean that it's ethically, you know, or morally makes sense.
I think that in particular with underwater archaeological projects, namely shipwreck projects, there is a lot of expense involved with equipment, technology, manpower, time, energy, and some of that has to be offset. And so I think if it's done thoughtfully, that I think that it is not an untenable idea to make profits off of these objects.
I think they should take as much as possible. That's just my personal opinion, and I base my personal opinion on the following. If they don't take it, or some other entity to allow all of us to learn from and see it and have a more a closer personal encounter, then what's the point?
They brought, when they got out of there, they brought up a suitcase. In the suitcase, took it into the conservator's room. And the conservator, when they opened it up, there were 65 vials of perfume, little vials of perfume. And as soon as they opened that up, that perfume just filled the room full of flowers and fruit smells. And after smelling all that stuff that comes up from the ocean floor, it has a foul, deathy kind of a stench. It's hard to describe, and after you're so used to that, all of a sudden these flowers, the smell and the aroma after 87 years, it's just amazing.
It sort of gets at the core of our humanity. You know, we are in fact interested in ourselves, and that's part of why, you know, the anthropological approach and the interest in the past, you know, is you know, unfailingly interesting.